Thank you again for coming back to Locked On Wrestling after another eventful Monday Night Raw. I guess you could call it. It was a pretty good show, but yeah, my name's Josh. This is Kevin. How you doing tonight, Kevin?
What's going on, guys?
Pretty good. So yeah, overall, I think we had a pretty good show tonight. But it was much better than I was expecting. I saw they were in Nebraska. Nothing against people from Nebraska, but I just was like, oh, it's just gonna be no star prep. They ain't gonna try to put any stars on this show. Nothing's gonna be really going on. Not that there was necessarily stars. I guess there was, but there was a lot going on. I'll say so. But before we get into too much of that, I did. It's been a pretty big sports news day or wrestling news day here the last couple of days. So um, the thing that had everybody mad in the wrestling community this morning in the IWC, from what I could tell, was what was put out that the WWE is going to be signing Alberto Del Rio to a contract with him with the
I love
WWE.
it.
You're a big fan of his, I know, but
Yep.
yeah, give me your thoughts on that, the contract, and I kind of let you know
Hey,
how I feel in the back end.
he was already in with AAA, and I think he's a hell of a worker, great in-ring worker. He could draw heat easily, especially with his ring announcer. People hated him. He was a world champ. I think what, a two-time or three?
I remember he
He-
retired Edge for a while. He beat him at that
yeah, I
Mania,
mean,
and Edge left.
he uh, he had main events with Edge, with Punk, with Cena, with Orton. I mean, the guy can go, and
Yeah,
all the wrestlers have said that before. So, I mean, he's 47, but there's many 47-year-old wrestlers these days that can go. So,
like everybody, half the
uh,
entire
yeah.
roster. Uh,
So I think he's a great heel. I don't think he should try to do the C thing. I don't know. Remember when he used to do the C C C? I
yeah.
didn't like that. Real, but I like
I
the
don't
heel
know what
one.
he's got going on now, and I think he's going to be, depending on what they do with him. I don't know. This could be just, I was believing at first that they're just taking on his contract, but no, I actually read into it a little bit more.
Yeah,
They've actually given him a new
good.
contract
Yeah,
that is
I love it.
more up to snuff in the WWE's eyes, essentially. So I am definitely curious as where they go with him.
Mhm.
I used to like him well enough back in the day. I know he's had a lot of kind of wild personal issues, some real, some not, from what we can gather. But as far as in ring goes, I don't really know where he fits right now. If you're looking at a main roster spot, or is this going to be he's
Well,
just going to keep doing his
LWO.
thing? Yeah,
You're gonna get involved with
LWO
what's
is
his
a
name? Andrade,
dead.
or you're gonna get involved with Andrade maybe, or
And maybe
who
like I was
knows?
thinking, maybe he just stays in whatever this new AAA NXT thing is going to be. Because a lot of people are saying that, well, they're just going to keep running AAA just the same, except with WWE's brand, and I'm sure there'll be some more perks out of that. But they're essentially going
Mm.
to keep working it like it's the promotion they're already doing. Because apparently the deal's not even final. They keep like saying that about the AAA thing. Oh, it's not even completely final yet. Um, but yeah, I would assume that he would maybe just stay down there on top because they got to know what the backlash is there, regardless of, because I mean was found guilty of beating Paige, right? Wasn't that true? When I looked back at the stuff, I thought he had hit her at some point, or did he not?
I don't think he ever got charged with anything.
I think they had a big brouhaha. I remember he had a
Yeah, they
DUI or
did, but
something.
I think he had it like a DUI, or
Yeah.
I think she accused him of hitting him or something, and then but she had a bunch of wild shit going on too. She was just playing off it, so
Yeah.
everybody makes a little mistake, but he had some legal allegations that never came to fruition. It was just a bunch of allegations that got dropped pretty much, and I know a lot of the wrestling world give him shit because of that,
Yeah, it's
but
very much you're guilty until you're proven
yeah,
otherwise, and even still, we're still gonna look at you like you're guilty.
we're still
Like you're
gonna say
just
it.
for your name being brought up, you're just
Yeah.
fucked. You
I
know.
was actually more surprised that he got signed because all the comments he said about um, Triple H in the past. He hated Triple H and he left and he was talking a bunch of shit about him. But I guess Triple H picked that up from Vince, huh? That business is business. If you think you can make money, you sign him.
I mean, you can sign them, but that don't mean you got to push them when you get them. He'll
Yeah,
just bury
we'll
him. That's
see.
what he likes to do. He'll bury him, just like Theory.
I oh
How I
Theory,
felt about that match. We'll get into that later, but I was like,
yeah,
just go ahead and release this dude too if you're not gonna use him.
repackage him something.
I don't even know how bad you need to like repackage or anything. He's a solid package. Get him out. At least It's really more about his demeanor. Just quit, being a goof and let him get some wins. Like, anyway, we'll get into that. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
We got plenty to unpack here for Monday Night Raw tonight. And yeah, with Del Rio, obviously he can still go if he was this promotion's champ. As he is.
Champ,
And I need to just go YouTube a few matches. I haven't done it yet. Maybe I'll do that. Watch a couple of his most recent matches, because I think he worked Dolph Ziggler here recently too, and I guess Dolph's down there working a little bit. Yeah, I don't know that he's somebody you just throw into whatever the main event scene is right now. First off, we already got too many people. We've already got a couple that don't even belong to be there. I.e., we thought one was getting scrubbed out of the way tonight in the main event, but no, that's not how it ended. But so I don't see him necessarily going main roster if he ever does again. That's my bold prediction on Alberto Del Rio. What about you?
I would say he'll probably be on the main roster within a month or two by SummerSlam, and mid-card status to start. That's my prediction.
You go the complete opposite of me.
Yeah, maybe United States title run, in that picture maybe, and work his way up. I think they got to have Rodriguez come back with him. He's got to be
Rico. Yeah. See, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, where you could like make those weird personal problems, work even better, is coming back and leaning into it some. If you're gonna use him, So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for Alberto Del Rio. But another story that popped out here earlier, and it was right before Raw was getting ready to go on the air, or may have already been while Raw was on the air. WWE, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he was kind of that one of the, I don't know if you'd call him a great. He was there in the mid-90s. Definitely a gimmick people will remember the name of. But he's the first picture they pop up when they start talking about the mid-90s gimmick style booking that was the WWE. But yeah, today, former WWF wrestler Mike Drosey, known to fans as Duke the Dumpster Drosey, has been indicted on a charge of attempted aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor in Tennessee. So, long story short, what old Mike here was doing, old Duke the Dumpster, basically was, he was busted. He was going on the dark web trying to buy child porn, and the dark web police busted him, and that's how this all came to be. So, he's a fucking idiot. Not only is he a fucking idiot, he is an absolute, utter disgrace to humanity. And really, take him out with the garbage. That's how I feel about most anybody that's going to touch a kid, or everybody that has anything of that nature going on in their head. It's like, bye. Just, what are we waiting for?
He'll be a jobber in prison, too.
Oh, yeah. The only thing he's got going for him there, which probably don't matter much in prison, is that he is a big dude. But he's like, the picture of him looks, he's up there. He's like, got to be in his 60s. But
like I said earlier, I don't know how much more trash that could be, and it just goes with his name. So
yeah, and apparently he had some other stuff going on. They said at the time of his indictment, Mr. Drosey was employed the new DUI coordinator for the 31st Judicial District Adult Recovery Court Program, commonly referred to as drug court. So I guess
he was in trouble before.
Now I don't know if this is saying that he was in the program, or if he worked with the people at the program, like he was like almost a cop of some sort, doing all this.
It makes even more sense.
Yeah, so I think he was actually helping people on the road to recovery, and then but he's like, fantasizing about diddling kids apparently. So, because I think you got to kind of be at least tech savvy enough to find your way on the dark web. Like I feel like it would take me some research to figure out how to do it, and Duke the Dumpster's doing it for child porn, and I guess they think, you can't get in trouble there, but I got a feeling you're not going to see his likeness used much more in the future for WWE, if I had to guess.
I would say that'd be it.
Yeah, so we'll see how big of a wave that story actually makes here that it came out during Raw. But yeah, so that's kind of the news of the day. But yeah, so on to Monday Night Raw. It was a pretty good show, like we said. I'll admit there was a part in the show where I had to take a phone call, so I was watching, but I wasn't hearing. So if there's anything I didn't hear at some point in the show, I'll definitely let you know. But you can go ahead and take the floor there with that, Kev.
All right, man. Opening segment. We got Jey Uso, as always, coming through the crowd, doing the same spiel as every week. Yeet, yeet, yeet.
He
Hit the
was
music, stop the music, blah, blah,
he,
blah. It's the same.
he had like kids in tow. Did you see him like push that
Yeah,
go now, kid?
right, right.
For this super organic thing we're doing here. I'll say this, right off the bat, I kind of had shit, and I texted you. I kind of shit on the fact they were in Nebraska. I was like, "Oh, this is
Hmm.
probably some fucking dead crowd." Crowd was into it from start to
Yeah, it was
finish.
pretty good.
They were
Yeah, I
fucking
liked
into
it.
it, and it started right with a bang with when Uso came out. They were definitely into it.
It was better than last week in Des Moines. So,
Oh man, that whole show
yeah.
was awful. Don't
Sammy
remind me.
Zayn the whole show. We didn't see Sammy until the end, but anyways, uh,
Jinxed it.
yeah, Jay's in the ring, and I thought we were gonna get, they said Logan Paul's in the house, blah blah blah. We didn't even see Logan Paul the whole
Oh
night, so it was really
yeah,
weird. I don't
we
know what went
didn't.
on. Like, did something happen, or because it's
I
very
don't.
weird that
Yeah,
the
I don't
whole
know if
thing
he
was just.
wasn't supposed to say that. Like if he
I don't
just
know.
fucking had a brain fart and said, "I know Logan Paul's here," or what he was trying to do there. But yeah,
Yeah,
if
but he's.
Logan Paul would
I
have
mean,
been there, he would have been on the show. He's not just gonna
I
hang
would
out.
I would expected him, yeah, because he's not cheap to be there. So I would expected him to come out at the end, but we never got Logan Paul. But anyway,
Unless they were going over
Paul,
their match for Saturday, and he just happened to be there for that, and then he dipped.
yeah,
He wasn't gonna be on the
you
show, but he
shouldn't
was like working out the
wasn't gonna
match.
mention him. Yeah, you shouldn't have mentioned him then. But
I could see
anyways, Paul
Uso
Heyman
fucking.
comes out, and nobody. I know I didn't expect Paul Heyman to come out, so it was sort of like, what's going on here? It's got me thinking like, where's this angle gonna go, anyways?
Yeah.
But anyways, they had a history, so they're going back and forth about who ruined what, who did this, who did that, who's to blame, he's not to blame, blah blah blah, and then he talks him into a title match with Seth Rollins, and the plan worked, blah blah blah. They went backstage and said Seth Rollins is a sniper. He's a
A
epic promo.
visionary.
Yeah,
He's
but
envisioning things.
talked him into the match anyway. So it was a good opening segment, and Paul Heyman's promo was fire,
It
of
was
course.
fire, and there was a point where
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna have a heart attack. I was like, dude, he needs to chill
yeah,
the fuck out. Like I thought
yeah,
he was about to keel over, but yeah, that was a very fiery promo, and he was just like, hang
yeah.
on, I'm not the bad guy. Why am I bad? And made a pretty good case for himself too. But at the same
Uh,
time, it's like at least the crowd didn't buy it, and he played the crowd so well, which is something that I felt like that we talked to about last week on Raw and SmackDown for that matter about how talent wasn't looking at the crowd and being like, "And you shut up," and really get them howling and upset. And it wasn't like the crowd was necessarily chanting like retards or anything. He was just like keeping them engaged in what was happening, and I thought it looked really good, and I thought that whole promo was really good. Um, Uso doesn't belong on a mic with him, and at least he didn't try. There wasn't a whole
no,
lot of like, oh, let's try to have a roast
no,
battle with one another and just made himself look stupid. But yeah, I was
yeah,
with you. It was kind of like, well, here we go again. Another like,
yeah,
and I do like the through needles of that. If like you get some at the beginning of the show, and at the end of the show is when it's paying off, so you're kind of
yeah.
can carry it throughout the night and backstage stuff.
Mhm.
But better. I don't know if this is another one night spinoff because I don't know when Rollins like he just got like you're granting a. There's no Pierce here either. Usually when they're doing this matchmaking
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
he's the GM of whichever show's generally popping out and saying, "Well, hold
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
we didn't
They
get that
said
here."
Pierce came through the headphone and told him it was a go. Like, okay, it's good. Pierce went.
That's what
The
they did.
announcer said, yeah,
Oh, they just blew it off, huh? Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But all the other times I want to walk out there with music and
yeah,
stop the fucking
right,
show.
yeah,
It's like they don't make this. And one of the talents that just got released, I can't remember. They said that they were told by Triple H, like it doesn't need to make sense because she was like pointing out some logic flaw and whatever it was that they were doing at the time, and Triple H was like, it doesn't need to make sense. And I believe that that was said to her now. Just because you really think
mm,
about these shows and how things happen, you're like, well, no, this doesn't make sense based off of what you've already told me. This is how this is supposed to fucking work, you know?
right,
So
yeah,
I don't know. But anyway, it didn't really take from anything. But yeah, it's just little stupid plot holes like that you see, and it's just funny.
yeah. Well, I can say like from that promo, it was such a good promo from Paul and how he set it up, set the match up. I totally forgot about Logan even fighting Uso
Yeah.
because I wanted to see the Seth and Uso later after
And
that.
you even told me on text that during the show, you went and checked WWE.com, and they didn't have the
Yeah.
Uso Logan Paul match listed anymore at
No, I didn't,
Backlash. So we
I didn't
we
even
were
see
both
it.
going into this. Oh shit! Will they actually switch the
Yeah.
belts? Like that would
I thought it
be.
was a chance.
That's gonna be a lot of brutal online. Usos
Yeah.
does have his big, loyal fans and all, and they're gonna bitch. That we'll get to it later. That match was not good until they did a bunch of false finishes, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
I have my thoughts on that match, but anyway,
Um,
but yeah, as far as setting up the show, I thought it was a great opening segment. It really lands you a bombshell with, hey, we're gonna do a title match tonight. Something we don't get to see a lot of on Raw, and it was a good one. You kind of had a feeling that something might come later, like there could be some bullcrap, but at the same time,
big swerve.
yeah, at the same time, and we'll get into it again later during the match. You're feeling like, no, this might actually happen. We'll see how this
Right.
goes. So, but anyway,
And
we'll go on to the next
that's when
segment.
you get good wrestling, That's when you
Yeah.
get good wrestling.
When you
If you
suspend make me go, I don't know what the fuck's
Yeah.
about to happen. That's when I
Yeah.
enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, so moving on, we got Penta versus JD McDonough.
Mm-hmm.
A couple guys with a lot of talent, both of them. I think they're both really good in the ring. A little bit of back and forth to start the match. Action-packed match. Judgment Day gets involved, of course. Penta overcomes Judgment Day. He overcomes Chad Gable or Americano, whatever you want to call him. So the announcers are really putting over Penta, saying, it's like four against one, and he came through and
the machine.
he's a
They're really
machine,
smashing
so
him over in that sense
They're-
for sure.
they're
Like
put-
maybe he's
they're
not
putting,
win. I know he's lost, but they really are smashing him. Like he's a he's a force to be reckoned with. Yeah.
they're putting the rocket on him, right?
Yeah.
Strapping it on. Crowd was into the match the whole time. Yeah, it was a great opening match, I thought. And
It was a really good match. I was impressed with McDonough.
Yeah, I think McDonough's going to be good, man. If he ever gets a singles run or something, but even if not, I think tag team guy, he's tough as nails too. So.
Oh yeah, man, he's a guy you should be, with the Judgment Day, kind of have slid into that U.S. title, which I know that's a SmackDown show. It's one of the things that we've talked about a lot. Like we can't stand the brand split stuff, because he's kind of would slide into that whole mixture. Well, I feel like from guy or really, if you're talking about he's going against Drew or big guys, like no, that's again we go back to it. We've brought it up a couple times. We need a cruiserweight belt for guys like.
We didn't have Carlito down there today, though, did we?
He was on there. He was in the backstage segment.
I didn't see him.
He was just there.
He didn't come down to the ring.
Yeah, because he was the one that asked AJ, "What are you doing here?" And AJ's just starts having a seizure on camera.
I didn't get that whole segment, man.
It was basically they went a horrible way of getting there, but basically what they were trying to say is AJ wants to a Intercontinental title shot at some point. But they did set up that Dom and Penta are going to have a match at Backlash now for the IC belt.
Yeah. A good match.
Well, we can do our predictions.
Friday.
We'll just do them Saturday or Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some still have matches that need to be booked off SmackDown, but
yeah.
But go ahead.
So we'll go to the. Unless you got anything for this match, we'll jump into the Waller and Austin Theory. They had a little backstage cameo going. It was supposed to be Waller fighting Sheamus, but he didn't want to tell Austin Theory who the opponent was, but he was acting like he was going to give him a match. Here's your match. I'll give it to you and see if let you shine. But he didn't want to tell him who it was.
You got to beg me for a match.
It was like a surprise opponent for Theory, and he didn't know it was Sheamus, but it ended up being Sheamus. So Theory and Waller, you can tell something's going to happen there, but they've been teasing this split up for like a month and a half. It's been forever now. I don't think they work very well together for some reason, or they're just not
made
getting
them dopes. They're dopes.
Yeah, right.
They're just freaking dopes, and then they, and I don't hate Sheamus, right? I got nothing against Sheamus. I've never connected with the guy. Maybe because I was always. I guess because I was a little bit. By the time I was, that was what 08, 09 when I really learned about him, and I was already old. I already thought certain shit was cool, and then I see this guy, and I'm like I'm not Irish. I'm not into Irish lure. I got nothing against the Irish, but I never connected with Sheamus. And does he look?
Me neither.
He's a big, strong dude. I've enjoyed his matches as the last few years as of late. Because he'll go in there and he'll have some matches where he like really beats the hell out of somebody, lets them beat the hell out of him, and that I dig him for. But yeah,
he's
coming
tough.
in and just they had a good match, I guess, but really fucking bury Theory. Like we're both
Yeah.
of the ilk. The Theory's good. They got to do something with him. I think
Yeah.
Waller's good. I think they're both
Yeah, I
good in
do.
the ring. They're just booked as goofs. It's like I don't know. They don't want us to like them. That's all I could think. They like who goes, oh, this is good TV. Go out there and be fucking the Three Stooges, but just two of you, and then we're gonna let a guy that's hasn't even been full time really in years. It seems like.
See the backdrop when you said Three Stooges.
There you go. There's Grayson Waller and fucking Austin Theory, and Vince McMahon somewhere because he liked both of them. But
yeah, but I agree.
yeah,
I like him too,
just
man.
bury him.
I
thought, oh man,
they could
Theory's
be
about to
great
win.
heels.
I was like, they're gonna try to give us some. Here's what I really in a microcosm thought during that match. I said, oh wait, they're about to let Theory get this win, and they're gonna give him some more wins, and they're gonna make us go, oh, okay, the kid can wrestle, and then they're gonna turn him and maybe put him with Heyman and them. Which right now, the way it's playing out, they may not even add anybody to that Heyman deal. It's not, and we'll get into it more. I'm getting more turned off by the whole thing by the week, but I'll digress there.
Yeah.
But yeah, right here, it's like give Theory a shot.
Sheamus, he looked out of shape, and halfway through the match, he was winded as hell. You know,
yeah,
like
he didn't look
go.
like he's been doing these workout shows on YouTube. You'd think he'd be ripped, but no, he looked bloated and
out of shape, and like he was climbing the rope, and he kept breathing so hard, like he couldn't do the move till he took a few breaths. But anyway, he pulled off the return win, which I totally expected to. I didn't. Right when he came out, I said, well, here comes another loss for Austin Theory. But it was a decent match anyway.
I had higher hopes, I guess. I was hoping they'd let him
Yeah. I figured he would have lost. But the next segment was Becky Lynch and Lyra promo. Once again, Becky shines in the promo, as always. And I don't know if Lyra is so bad on the mic, or is it just Becky's so good at making her look bad? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Becky's telling her she took out the garbage. You know, she's Bailey's garbage. She took it out. You should be thanking her that she got rid of the garbage, and you know they should be. Lyra comes back with it, but it don't even resonate. You know, when she's coming back with the insults like from
the
when
fans
Becky's,
don't care about her. Like nobody's really gives a shit what happens with her. That's the feeling I get when she's out there. Like the fans don't really care if Lyra's doing good. You know, it's just kind of like you can hear a mouse pissing on cotton. You know, like it's like no one gives a shit. And I don't know. It's just.
I think the only good point Lyra got in was that she's defended the title more days than Becky's been there, but that didn't even get that big of a response. But Lyra's a hell of a wrestler.
Been where? Lyra's defended the belt more than Becky's been there. Like just in general, been around lately. Is what you're saying?
Been there this year. That's what she said. This year. And then she said, "I was there's something you didn't do. I'm the first IC champion." Well, Becky wasn't even there when they had the IC champion, so it really didn't even make sense. But
we have a comment in the chat from Tony Clown Khan saying, "I want anyone WWE doesn't want." So Tony Khan checking in with us in the chat.
Tony Khan,
the clown,
great.
The clown Tony Khan, according to the screen name. So, but
I guess Brian.
He can take Lyra. He can take Lyra. I'm done with Lyra. I don't care that she's Irish. Again, all these Irish people, like I don't care. Like it doesn't make you cool to me. Like I wasn't captivated by the Boondock Saints like everybody else was back in the day. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lyra in the ring, but right when she gets that mic in her hand, I'm like, she's not ready, or she needs a manager or something, a mouthpiece. I don't know. But maybe she'll get better at it.
Yeah, and there's not enough women around in this division that should be like the actual contenders for this belt, other than Becky Lynch. You know what I mean? Like I don't get why even her and Becky are. I know that it's like they're trying to do everything they can to get Lyra over, and it's not working. Like nobody cares. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I think Becky beats her and takes her belt, and then Lyra flies on down to the U.S. title picture and works on her shit.
Becky will probably win.
So.
After that, we had Roxanne versus Io Sky. Jam-packed action I put down for that one. You know I
Love
like
Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Yeah,
I
you're
do.
in love with her, dude. You love her. It was a
She's
good
good,
match.
man.
It was a good match, though. I
But
enjoyed it.
you know what I like about her? She's an old school wrestler, but she got trained by Booker T, so she's always working a limb or I like the
Yeah,
psychology of
and I do too. And that's kind of like where I like. Every time I've watched one of her matches, especially the last few weeks, I'm
it.
watching one of Roxanne's matches, and I'm like, I don't really care. And then she'll start working on a limb, and she'll do some
Yep.
cool shit, like a cool move to work on the limb, and then I'm like, okay, I like it. I like it more. And then they ended up having some good false finishes there at the end too that were good. And overall, I like the match. And then it's kind of what I texted you too of like when they do kind of do the swerve. Looks like Roxanne's gonna play nice. Like you were the better woman tonight, EO, and walks away. And then Julia comes out, which you knew something was happening because EO just kept standing in the middle of the ring going like an
Yeah.
idiot, and you knew
Well, I
something.
like the she came out with the handshake, Roxanne. I said there ain't no way. And then she left the ring. I'm like, well, maybe she did.
No, I had and
Yeah,
when
she,
they
she
when they cut back to Io doing her deal, I just knew something's about to happen. And you could hear the crowd make a different noise, so you knew something. They were seeing something we weren't. And then out of
yeah,
nowhere, boom, there comes Julia.
yeah,
But I like that they did that. I thought that was fun.
yeah. I do too.
But going back to what I texted you of like now they should keep working on her leg. Like go get a
Yeah,
chair, start bashing her leg with a chair, doing something
yeah.
to
Like the old
continue.
Steve Austin, he would grab it and just drive it.
Yeah, or like put it, just
Mm,
do a wild cool move or into a submission
yeah,
or something. Like do something that looks real dastardly. I mean, they put the beat down they put the boots to her, so it's fine. But
yeah.
like, yeah, just like that added extra detail of like I was working on it during the match. Now I'm gonna keep working on it,
They
even though
could
the
have
match is
sold it a little
over.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely sold that. That would have been cool. It would have added a little bit more
So,
to it.
so the last couple of weeks, Roxanne, you can tell they're setting her up. They put her out with the biggest stars in the last 2 3 weeks, and every time she has a match with whether it be Io Sky
Yeah,
or Rhea, or she's always coming through in the matches. So I think she's got a bright future.
they're definitely strapping, trying to get
Yeah,
everybody a good taste of what they're wanting to do there because yeah, you go up against the two top girls, two of the top really outside of
yeah,
Charlotte, I guess,
right.
on Raw, the two top on Raw, and you go and you get like multi-segment matches with them. Obviously they're wanting to do something with you. I mean, hell, we got Becky Lynch on the roster who's not even in the main title picture right now.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if this is like a buy your time and she's the lucky winner until Bianca's good with her fingers and bullshit, but I don't know. But
That was good. A good match. Next one we had Otis versus Rusev, couple of powerhouses. Haymakers after haymakers, outside squalls. And I remember when Otis, that was a note I wrote down. I was just thinking of the downfall he's had. I remember when Otis won the Money in the Bank in 2018 at WWE headquarters. Remember that?
yeah, no, that was during COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had
Yeah,
the
2020.
Money in the Bank at the headquarters.
Yeah, I was
And
thinking the same earlier tonight. I was like, I remember when this guy was supposed to be something.
yeah,
They were really trying to do something with him, it felt like.
was it 2020 or 19?
Yeah, I think that's when they did because they didn't have anything to do it, so they did it all inside the building.
Yeah,
I need to go back and rewatch that too, by the way. I don't think I've seen it,
yeah.
but clips of it. I don't think
But
I've seen it.
anyway, at one time they thought he was going to be something, to put the Money in the Bank on him, but he ended up losing that briefcase to the Miz because of his partner turned on him on Heavy Machinery that night.
Are you serious? And
Remember
he had
that?
to relinquish his Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
That's,
the Miz won the Money in the Bank. That's the only time it ever happened in a separate match. Because Otis's teammate, Heavy Machinery, I forgot the guy's name, but he turned on Otis.
that's
But
when you know
anyway,
the
Otis,
shovel's out and
yeah,
ready to go on you.
right. So Otis went from that to pretty much he's getting squashed weekly too. And I like the match though because they're trying to get Rusev over as a heel. And people love Otis just because of his look, and he's a little goofy, and he does the shit in the ring with the worm and everything, and makes the crowd happy.
He's a comedy act,
So
yeah.
they have Rusev, keep putting that camel's clutch on him. I call it the camel's clutch. I don't know what the
Yeah, that's
hell
what
he
it
calls
is.
it.
Yeah, he calls it the
Yeah.
accolade or something like that.
So
Acolyte.
the GM, the GM and the refs have to run down and try to save him, and he won't let it out, and he keeps going. So that was good. I think Rusev, he was getting booed pretty hard at the end, so that worked. And
Yeah,
Otis will go back to doing the same thing as he does every other week.
yeah, you may or may not see him again. But like
Yeah.
when it comes to Rusev, and I'm pretty much agree with you. Like I didn't hate the match. I just kept thinking throughout the match though. Like I don't give a fuck about Rusev either. Like I just don't care about Rusev. He's been around a long time. We've done this. He's such a formidable guy. Like
Bring back Lana, huh?
yeah, I mean at least Lana was something to look at because other than that I don't care. I didn't care that he was killing. He could have shot Otis in the head. I wouldn't have cared. Like that's how little I give a shit about Otis too. Like I don't know. I just did not care about this. I don't care about Rusev right now. And I know
Well,
maybe they'll do something different, but I just feel
he,
like
he needs to
he's set
just
up on a trajectory of where he's just gonna fade away.
he just needs to keep coming out every week and just destroying people. Get the refs out on him every week. Just become psychotic or
Yeah, but
something and
look where they've kind of
get
put
over
him
it.
too, though. Like he debuted with the New Day and Otis and Tozawa having a match or gonna have a match or something. Remember? And the New Day
Yeah.
scattered, and then they're here with like why is he wanting to go after a tag team? It's kind of like a random like why is I don't
That was
understand
weird.
like why. Like
He's not a tag team or nothing.
come out and take out the
Yeah.
IC champ or come out and take out freaking Jey Uso or somebody. Do something or even like I don't know, just something with more weight behind it. Because right now I don't care that much. It's like
Yeah, I don't
you're
either.
telling me he's Mid Carter. You're telling me that's what he's basically going to be. Otherwise, why would he be messing with these people? So great, we added a new body to the whatever the hell the lowest tier championship on this show is.
Yeah. So yeah, they're trying to get him over. I don't know if it'll work either. But anyways,
We'll
I
see.
didn't care too much about the match either, but it was
Yeah,
decent.
it was good.
I
I thought
thought
they
they
worked stiff, like you said. Like Otis hit like a really good elbow one time. I remember that was pretty good.
Yeah. The next segment we had was Gunther and Pat. Pat working the crowd as usual. Uh, I feel sorry for I feel sorry for Gunther in this feud. I really do. I was sitting
I
there
do
looking at him
too.
like, why does he deserve this?
Yeah, what did he do? Did he look at Stephanie the wrong way or something? Was he
I
checking
don't
her out in
know.
front of Triple H? Because yeah, what are we doing? That's
I
how I
don't. I
feel.
just put down. They don't have nothing for Gunther besides this. Gunther's making it personal. I liked when Gunther took the mic and pretty much got right in his face and told him exactly what he's going to do to him, and he's not overlooking him, and he's going to pulverize him, and you're going to regret this decision. So it's
I just
making
don't.
Gunther look a little stronger. But
Then it's also like Gunther doesn't even get a rematch for his
Pat,
belt.
Pat was calling him soft, and
Yeah,
uh,
I think you're soft because you've lost 2 matches in
yeah,
2 years.
yeah, it didn't make any sense really.
Like,
And then Michael Cole keeps saying, "I hope you know what you're doing, Gunther."
and they're really trying to make Michael Cole this big sympathetic baby
Yeah.
face. Like, I don't care about Michael Cole. Like, if it's
So what's gonna
JR,
happen?
we cared about JR. JR had illnesses. He had things wrong with him. Like, when he said Michael Cole was 60, he's a 60-year-old man. I'm like, he dresses and looks better than I do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's a peepaw out there that that's drawing sympathy out of me because it's a guy with, like JR had the belt. He was like a peepaw almost, like the old granddad.
Yeah.
You could see yourself
Right.
like being your granddad, and like you gave a shit if somebody fucked with him.
Right.
No one gives a shit that Michael Cole got fucked with. I don't think.
So what's gonna happen when Gunther is beating the shit out of Pat? What's Michael Cole gonna do? Is he gonna be like, somebody call the cops, or like they do,
Oh, it'll
or
be
is
something
he
stupid. Yeah.
is he gonna get up and try to help him? And then Gunther will pound both of them, and that's when Gunther really gets over. That'd be the only way that match works. He's got to take them both out.
And I still stand by what I said a week ago. I think they're so stupid and so creatively empty, and
You
they're
think
so
Pat's
worried
gonna-
about the
that's
eyes,
where-
the eyeballs on the product. That's all they care about. They'll have Pat win,
that's
or it
where
goes to
Pat
a no
wins on
decision.
Gun-
But I don't see Gunther just beating him. I don't think they're
that's
going to
where
let us
Pat
have that.
wins on- If Pat wins, I'm not watching wrestling anymore.
It won't even.
Just quit.
Yeah, I mean it's already a stone's throw from not being wrestling anymore. So yeah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't take much
That'd be
there.
crazy.
Yeah.
Who was Pat's last match? Was it versus
Vince? Did he
no
wrestle Vince at
Pat
Mania that year?
McAfee? No, he was in the ring with him though, but it wasn't versus him. It was Pat versus
Was
he
it Theory?
lost.
It was Theory, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's Theory. I think it
And
was
then
Theory.
and Vince was there
No,
too or something.
Pat won that, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
then
beat
Steve
him,
Austin came
and
out
then
and
he came
everything.
after. Yeah, he came after Vince, and I think he did something to
Oh,
Vince, and then Stone Cold stunned everybody.
yeah,
That's what Stone Cold does.
yeah. It's great seeing Stone
But
Cold.
yeah, I
I could
mean,
see Stone Cold every week.
yeah, it's like I don't get what we're doing with Gunther here. I didn't get the ending of that Mania match. I didn't get
You would,
anything they're doing with it. They calling him soft. They've booked him soft.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
He had a great title run, and then he went straight from that to this, to fighting an announcer.
I mean, it's one of them stay tuned in type things. But yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
who this helps. I'm like, this isn't helping Gunther at all. And do we
No,
need to help Pat or Michael Cole? They don't need anything. Like, what are we
they
doing?
don't need
Like, what is all
anything.
this for? What does it all mean, Basil?
I guess we better pay off Sunday for something. That's what I'm thinking. The only way I can think about it if just Gunther loses his mind and actually shows him, this is what you really wanted, and I'm just gonna bloody you.
He should have beat the shit out of him tonight. How did that
Should
segment
have.
end? I don't remember. I might have.
Gunther just got in his face, and like I said, he was telling him everything he's gonna do to him and how sorry he's gonna be and blah blah blah. And then
Yeah.
Gunther just turned around and walked out the ring.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if Gunther laid him out. That's what I was trying to remember.
No, they didn't touch each other. No.
I don't know. He's like I
So that
said. He looked at Stephanie's tits the wrong way, and Triple H saw, and he's just gonna pay the
Could
price
be.
because this is all just dumb. It's all dumb,
Yeah.
and it's like, man. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so after that, we go to the final match with Seth versus Jay, and like I said, that was a roller coaster match for me. Like I didn't know which way it was gonna go for a while, and that's what makes wrestling magic when you find that medium where you're like, well, who's gonna win this? Is it gonna be Seth? Is it gonna be Jay? And you had the interruptions with Braun. I thought once Braun hit that spear and he threw Jay back in the ring, it could be over. But then you had the surprise of Sammy, and then you had the surprise of Punk coming down. Once I seen Punk, I was like, well, Jay's going to retain now. There ain't no way Punk's going in the ring. And it was just a smooth at the end. But I thought the match was strong.
Yeah.
I think the only reason it was that strong is because of Paul Heyman, how he set it up. But they delivered, and probably got good ratings, I would imagine.
I mean, at least the first half. I mean, I enjoyed kind of how it all was falling apart at the end and the false finishes and all that. I just felt like they worked really weird. Like I didn't really like the first half of this match. I was very like kind of bored with it. Didn't like the work they were doing. I'd like to see a little bit. I like a little stiffness in the match, and they weren't really doing that a lot. But like you said, we had some close finishes because you didn't know where it was going. Like you said, they set it up great at the beginning with Heyman, and then you just kept getting. I mean, hell, they made Uso look like he was a Superman apparently because he was getting hit by pedigrees. He was getting hit by the broken arrows or whatever the heck it's called, the Falcon Arrow, and he's getting curb. So he take 2 curb stomps and kicked out of both. I believe so. Like that second one, I thought it was over. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna let him win this. And then he kicked out.
Yeah, I did too.
It wasn't even a breakup. It was a kick out. And it was just like, what the hell? Or maybe that second one, maybe there was a third. I don't remember. One of them, I think, is when Punk came out. But yeah, it just, but it did its purpose. I thought it was good for the show, and I think it will be remembered for being a really good match. I'm sure that's what everybody's thinking. I just didn't like the start of it. But by the end, I was completely invested for sure.
Yeah, and it's putting Seth Rollins back in the main event picture, where he should be. Like I'm gonna touch a little bit on what we said last week with Seth. I think he needs to change from the dancing down the ring and just focus, a little more at being the leader or whatever. But
because he's kind of playing babyface. There was a point where Braun Breaker and Heyman are kind of upset on the outside, and he says, like, it's at the beginning of the match. They're trying to work slow, and he tells them, like, hey, we knew he was good. He's the champ. He's like putting over Uso to him, and it's just like, what are you
That
doing?
was weird.
You're a
That was
heel.
weird, right?
Yeah, I was like, you're the
That's what.
heel.
That's when I thought maybe he was really gonna win the match, trying to make Uso look good, even though he was gonna lose or something. So it was weird he was saying that. He's the champ. He was really good. That was weird. I didn't get that either. Now that you bring that up, but yeah, it was
But
a
I just noticed that. I'm like, and I'm with you. I'm tired of the weird dance into the ring, and
yeah.
I did like Heyman's trying to get him to quit doing the O. Like he was even during the match trying to
Yeah,
lead the O
that
because
was funny when he was
they
doing
were healing on him. They didn't like
it. Yeah,
Heyman. So when he started doing that, the crowd started booing, and it was like, good. You need to boo.
yeah, it was
You
pretty
should be
funny.
booing these guys. Like don't. And then that's Seth too. Like he's playing into the oh. He ain't trying to make them
Yeah,
not do it. He ain't just walking to the ring and hopefully they just quit doing it over time. If I do something bad
somebody
enough.
needs to remind him how to be a heel, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he ain't
Needs to
getting the
remind
memo.
him.
He's not a good heel. That's what I was saying earlier in the show.
He used
Like,
to be great. He was on the Shield and he had that yellow streak in his hair. I loved him.
yeah, and I don't know. Right now, I'm just not enjoying what they're doing there because it doesn't make. Then you got Sammy running out, and we know everything revolved around Sammy last week. So I really don't know what
Last week,
they're
the whole
even
show was
building to
about
with this. Then you got Logan Paul's
yeah.
going to fight Uso. None of it makes any sense. None of it has like a through line. It's just like so
Logan Paul was
Uso's caught
there.
up in a 6-man tag situation or whatever you want to call that, and then or a 6-man feud. Now that Uso and
Yeah.
Sammy are out there too with Punk, and then you got Uso involved in that. Then you got Uso involved in a side story on SmackDown where he's going to wrestle Logan Paul for the belt at Backlash. It's like, well, which one? Where's his heart at here? What's going on?
I think Backlash got rushed too much, like by 2 weeks. You know, it
Hmm.
seems like they don't have the. If you look at the card on paper, it don't look bad, but the stories were so rushed to Backlash. I
Well,
think.
that's the kind of the problem too, in my opinion, is that it's Backlash. You have WrestleMania is kind of going to write your stories for you. You get rematches clause, right? So we can at least
They didn't
we
do
can
much of
easily
that.
work a rematch on both belts,
Yeah,
or every belt, almost damn near
yeah.
if you wanted
They
to.
didn't.
They didn't do any of
That's how
that.
it used to be.
Yeah, you used to
Yeah, they
always get
used
the
to be.
rematch at this, and you maybe add a
Yeah,
stipulation or do something, and then let it blow off, and then
that would always be
start
Backlash.
moving to something else. Yeah,
Yeah, it would
but
be
they
like the WrestleMania recap after it'd be Backlash. Like, what we're gonna do something a little different, but the same matches, sort of. Yeah,
yeah. And I
that was
saw
way
today
too
it's
much.
announced that Cody Rhodes will be not at this Friday's SmackDown, but apparently he's supposed to be at the following SmackDown. The SmackDown
Oh,
after
okay.
Backlash, he's supposed to be appearing again. So, which
Looks
I was
like him
surprised to
and
see Punk
Roman
there
got
tonight.
some time off.
Yeah, I know I've read a report that Roman will not be back until June, and
Guy gets a
then
lot of time off.
yeah, I don't know if he still deals with the leukemia
I think
stuff
he has
some or what.
cancer or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he gets a lot of time off.
he might just get the added time off because he had dealt with that or still has to do
Yeah,
something for it. I don't know, but and then
maybe.
Punk actually had tweeted today or yesterday that he wouldn't be at Raw. He
Uh,
needs time to heal. It's only been a week since Mania. It was a
yeah.
brutal match. He's old. So don't be mad at him, but they'd see him soon. That's what he said. Kind of wrote it off like that. So I saw that today, and I thought, okay, well, there's one less star. But then randomly he shows up there at the end too. So now he's back involved. Like I don't know. I just don't even know what they're doing with any of this.
It's definitely going. Seth and CM Punk is definitely not done.
True. Yeah.
Um, I don't know where the world heavyweight title picture is going right now. I don't even know if they're gonna have the match with Logan Paul. I don't even know.
Well, I guess if
They
they're
didn't
not
even
going
mention.
to, they'll announce that they would have announced it, or they're going to. Maybe we'll see that in the morning.
Didn't
I
they?
don't know.
But they did announce it last week that they were going to, right?
Yeah, they said there'd be a match at
Today
Backlash. I thought you
they
said it
didn't
was on
mention
there
it
though,
today.
right? You said it was on there before
It
though,
was.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And now it wasn't even mentioned tonight, so
Yeah.
it was weird.
Who
But
knows? Some stuff it makes sense and some doesn't. Like they've been doing this Roxana, Io, Rhea, Julia thing for the last since Raw after Mania. And
yeah, I
we
was
don't even
Io
have a
don't even have
match
a match.
there. Yeah, we don't even have a
Yeah,
match there, but
there's
they've
no
been
match.
like feeding into that for 3 weeks. It's like, well,
Yeah, so
what? That's a perfect event to blow off a little tag match and then set up for something later.
They don't do pre-show anymore, do they? Pre-show match.
I know they have a pre-show. I don't know if they do a match anymore though.
I
I
don't
was
think
wondering
so.
that about Mania. I didn't know if they did dark match at Mania or something.
I don't know. I know they used to have at least one, but
Used to
usually
do
if I watch
one.
the pre-show, I don't see a match usually.
Well, they might have got rid of them then. Which I don't know
Yeah.
why. You got a ton of people. You could just let them do a dark match, and they're happy to be on
Right.
Mania. At least they get to walk out there. May not be the
Yeah. So
actual
that
show, but it's still Mania.
that was the show in a nutshell. We hit every match, every promo. I tell you what, last week I gave last Raw's a D plus,
Yeah.
and this one I'm going B plus.
You're going B plus
B
on this?
plus. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a really downfall for me anywhere other than maybe the Otis Rusev, but I still enjoyed that one a little bit. But
Yeah, we could always
I think all
nitpick.
the other matches
Yeah.
were solid. Yeah.
Yeah, you can always nitpick, and I kind of am the king of. I will nitpick a little bit here and there, but yeah, I'm with you. I was gonna say the same thing. B plus for tonight for me
Right.
too. I like that we got the title match. Not expecting a title to be defended on Raw, which is always nice to see. And then the fact that even up to the very end, we weren't quite sure if we were gonna see it change hands. It wasn't like an automatic. Yeah, he ain't gonna win it. But
No.
it made you feel
Right.
like, hey, something. You kind of knew some shenanigans might happen, but there for a minute, I was wondering, man, this may have a clean finish because nobody's running out, nothing's happening. So, yeah,
What
I
was your
thought
match of the night?
match of the night. I'm trying to think which one it was. What was the first match again?
That was first match.
That JD and
Penta and JD. Yeah.
off the top of my head, I'm not trying to give it much thought. I'd have to go the Roxana EO match. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was mine too.
Yeah, I thought
That
it was
was my
good. I
first.
liked the psychology in it. I liked the ending. I'd like to see a little bit more
Mhm.
going into again attacking that limb there at the end too. But yeah, I liked how
I
that
liked
is.
all
I just
the
don't know where they're going. You know.
I liked all the quick counts and
hmm Yeah, and I just like I said, I just don't know where they're planning on going with it. So
yeah. Then it definitely ain't Backlash unless
it doesn't
somewhere
seem
on
like
SmackDown.
unless they
SmackDown might
randomly
show
send
up.
out a tweet during the week saying that officially we're gonna put a tag match with these because all they said about
Yeah.
Rhea was that she wasn't there, which is and then I was reading into that. I was like, oh, they're really gonna like fuck Io up then when they attack her because I knew they were gonna attack her, and I think they could have got away with like doing some brutal attack on Io, and then Rhea's not there, and then she's like, maybe there's something to do there at Backlash, but we'll see.
Where's next week's Raw? You know?
I have no idea where next week's Raw emanates from.
They usually say it at the end of the program, but I don't think they said it this time. They've been in the heart of the U.S.
Oh yeah,
for a
they did
couple
say
weeks.
it. They did say it. Now that I read it, it'll
Huh.
be in Louisville, Kentucky, home of Jim Cornette.
Louisville. Oh yeah, maybe he'll
That's what
show
we'll
up.
see. Yeah. Sure. I don't even know if he's left the house much in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Just hides from everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get some. Also later in the week, obviously we're gonna watch SmackDown on Friday,
Yep.
or try to at the very least.
Prediction. We'll do some
Yeah.
predictions on SmackDown too.
Try to do some predictions on SmackDown, and then Saturday, the plan right now, I'm gonna try to do a watch along throughout the show with the audio on, and then we'll do our live reaction and recap to Backlash immediately
Perfect.
going off the
Oh,
air
yeah.
on Saturday. That's Saturday, so that's the schedule for the week right now. And always keep a watch on the channel. I try to get up some videos, some clips from the show we're doing here tonight. We'll be going up again, so check that out and hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Anything else to say
All right.
about tonight, Kevin?
Nothing about tonight, but a quick. Well, I'll say the match of the week for me will be the Fatal 4-Way on United States title.
At
Backlash.
Backlash.
I'm looking forward to that
Looking
one.
forward to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we didn't hear from Randy or Cena tonight, so I don't know if
No.
we're supposed to hear anything Friday. Maybe so. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
I think Cena's supposed to be there Friday. I think they advertised.
Yeah, just wasting another date on Backlash.
I think so.
These
Yeah.
days are dwindling down, man. These days are dwindling down. But I'm trying to think off the top of my head what the match I'm looking forward to the most. I know a lot of the ones I'm not looking forward to. But I guess as of now, I'll go from what we've seen. I'll go either Cena Orton or I'll go Dom Penta. I want to see
Yeah, that'll
how
be a good
they
match.
can keep
Tom Penta will be good too.
see if they can find a way to keep that belt on
I
Dom.
just I hope they don't take the title off Dom fast, but Penta's strong. They might.
They want to. They want to do something with Penta.
No,
They're
no.
trying like hell to get him over, but no Ray
Yeah.
Phoenix on tonight's show either. I don't guess so. You
No.
figured the smart thing was just to go into some kind of tag with the Lucha Brothers versus Dom and Finn or Dom and
Yeah.
somebody. So, but hey, I don't get.
Yeah.
We don't get paid the big bucks to write the show. So.
Right.
But anyway, well, that'll be it for tonight,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe, and we'll see you next time. See you Friday night. Peace.
All right. Peace.